and sat down on the fucking edge of the bed, showed him the video, asked him what he was doing, and then proceeded to tell him to stand up on the bed so I could smell under his nuts.
Welcome back to Delete That, the podcast where bad decisions get the airtime they deserve.
Where we treat emotional damage like it's content, because unfortunately for us, it is.
Today's episode is called Emotional Horror Stories because who needs haunted houses when you've got exes?
We're talking about those cursed little situationships, the ones where you knew better but still said, no, no, I think this time he's changed.
Like a final girl tiptoeing back into the basement, you heard the creepy music, you saw the red flags, and somehow you still walked in.
This is your official warning: jump scares ahead, delusion around every corner, and a few relationship ghosts we thought we'd buried.
So grab your flashlight, say goodbye to your dignity, and let's get into it.
All right, so I'll kick us off at the beginning. As always, let's start with music. What are we listening to this week? I am coming from a TikTok artist again. Y'all know I'm so good for that. Yo, if you want to be found, just go get on TikTok and I will find you.
That's true.
Honestly, and I will blow you up. I promise. I will repost you to my 200 people, but I promise you we will get your name out there. So, for this week, actually, I found him last week, but I was listening to a lot of other stuff. But I have been playing this song on repeat whenever I decide, ooh, I forgot about that song. It is called Lips of a Lover. It is by the artist Max Boyle. Once again, I found him on TikTok, and honestly, it is so good. I know I sent it to you, and I literally was like, "Ooh, baby, you're gonna love this one." And I don't send you every one that I find, but the ones that I know are gonna like hit, I know that I have to send to you because that one, his voice is just so sultry. Like some of the notes that he would hit, oh my goodness, like baby.
Very sexy. Yeah, I will say that.
It gave me almost like Maroon 5, like Adam Levine, Sex and Candy type,
Mhm.
like whenever he would hit some of the notes. Oh, I don't know. I love men that can sing like that. Like Charlie Puth is one of those that can also do that. Um Shawn Mendes. I absolutely adore men that can literally sing their hearts out like that. So, yeah, that song is beautiful. Definitely go check it out. It is worth going to listen to. So, yeah, that's where I'm at.
And it's verified by me. I listened to it. It's a great song. I downloaded it. It's in my playlist. Go check it out. For me this week, I'm listening to an artist called Mama Duke. And it's funny because Courtney actually sent me this song, and I was like, girl, I've already heard this song. She auditioned for America's Got Talent.
Mhm.
I saw her audition clip go viral. She got a golden buzzer.
Mhm.
But she sang an original song on the show, and it's called "Feels So Good to Be You," and it's like a mixture of rap meets like her singing. It's just really cool. It gives me very like Lizzo meets Missy Elliott. It's really cool. I dig like the. It's kind of got that like EDM, like dance electronic, but then you've got like the cool rap overlay. I mean, it's just cool. I like it.
I hope I don't ruin it for you. This didn't ruin it for me, but it did make me like, damn, it does sound like that. I was reading the comments, of course, of that TikTok, and people were like, this is going to be in a commercial. I bet by the end of the year, this will be a commercial song, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, dang, it does kind of give me Old Navy. Like, I instantly thought Old Navy because I was like, the girls coming out in their like summer wear, like, oh, feels good to be you. And like, they're just switching outfits. So it definitely gives me that kind of like sound, like, I guess radio sound, if you want to call it that, like
Hmm.
commercial radio sound. But it is still a fire song. It is a very fun song. It's a very summery song. Like
For
it
sure.
definitely, when I listen to it, I feel like I'm going to the pool or like I'm going outside in the sun. And yeah, it sounds very cheerful.
I definitely think I would hear this at a pride parade for
Oh,
sure.
for sure.
So, love it. Okay, so for today's episode, we're getting back into some traumatic stuff.
Always.
We're always pulling out the skeletons in our closet. This time, literally, because we're going to give you some horror stories from our dating lives. And I know we've shared some stuff already over the course of the last 8 episodes, but I think this time we're going to get a little deeper into the red flags and the things we've kind of experienced.
Hmm.
So, for like this first segment, I want to talk about red flags and how they were actually the decor.
Hmm.
Times you knew that it was bad, but you stayed anyway. And then that classic, but they were going through a lot, the classic excuse, the toxic little thrill of chasing the high, the weird comfort of chaos and dysfunction. I mean, do you remember the moment you knew you should have left but didn't?
Which relationship?
I mean, hey, could
Because we could talk about any of them. And yes, there was probably a time where I looked at myself in the mirror and was like, bitch, what the fuck are you doing? But I stayed anyways and was like, no, actually, maybe he'll change. Maybe I can chat GPT the answer on how to fix him, which we didn't have chat GPT back then, but
hell no, we didn't.
thank God we didn't, honestly, because I probably would have been looking for the
Girl, same.
red flag staring me in the face, and I would have been like, chat GPT, how do I look past the red flag?
Baby, the fact that you're asking me is the red flag.
Yeah, so if we're talking about the man that I was in a relationship with for 7 years, that was a meth head. There were multiple times that came up in these 7, 8 years we were together. Let's start with the fact that he was 10 years older than me. And not that that is a bad thing. I have nothing against age gap relationships, but it was the fact of whenever we were first talking or became a thing or whatever, I was still in high school. He was already graduated, had a kid, went to war, came back, things of that nature. So, like, I probably shouldn't have been talking to this older man while I was still in high school.
He went to war,
Mm-hmm.
came back, and put you through war.
Baby.
You didn't even know you were a first round draft pick.
No, honestly. Oh, goodness. I didn't even get drafted the right way.
No, they pulled your name out of a hat.
No, honestly. And yeah, so red flags were probably already right there. And of course, I ignored them because I was like, oh, he's been to war. Oh, he's got a son. Oh, he's a youth leader in a church. Oh, he's volunteer fire department.
Mm.
Oh, he's at every function and every single person in the community loves him. So like why would that be a bad thing? Yeah, no, baby, that's a red flag. Could it be the fact that I found meth pipes?
Well, I will say, not all of that was a red flag. Some of it.
Not all. Yes, yes.
I mean, some of the things that you said are things that I would look at and be like, "Oh, that's a good thing," you know.
Absolutely. But as a 17-year-old who's in high school and he's already like established in his life, or should have been, I should say, per se, because he definitely was not established in life because
Not at all.
he was, yeah, he still has nothing going for him. He had nothing going for him then, never had anything going for him when we were together, even though I tried my hardest. I broke myself down to try to get him to be better. And now he's married to a whole different person, and he still is walking the streets doing drugs. So yeah, I don't know, man. I can't be I also cannot judge anybody who ignores red flags, but I also am not the person to come to and be like, is this a red flag? Baby, I don't fucking know, because I'll look at a red flag and go, actually, I think that's green.
Mm. Actually, that's a circus, and we love fun.
Actually, that's Christmas colors to me, and I love it.
Yeah. You don't know I got astigmatism? No, honestly, I think like there there has to have been a moment where you literally looked in the mirror and you said, "What the fuck am I doing?" There has to be a that kind of gotcha moment. And I'm not talking about like big picture things, overall things. I'm talking about a moment where you went through it and then you were like, why am I doing this? Why am I here? Why am I staying? There has to be a moment like that.
Yeah. That moment was definitely in our relationship. That was definitely the night that I went. It was the night we broke up per se. I mean, honestly, if we're just going off of a actual time that it happened, I feel like it definitely was the night that we split up, and it was because I went to get the phone. You probably know about this because you actually used this phone after we split up. But I went to get the phone that I was paying for me because he had no job, had no job, or he had a fake job, I should say, but never got paid from this fake job. A whole nother story I could go off of with him on this job situation. But, anyways, he wasn't paying no bills. We were living rent free at his mama's, to be completely honest. So the man had nothing that he was paying for, but had a new iPhone 6 at the time. And we were splitting up. Well, we had stayed apart from each other for a couple of days because of, I don't even remember what drama had happened, but something had happened. Either way, I was going to collect the phone because I knew in my heart that he was cheating on me. And like, all of the red flags that popped up before that obviously were like the, lead the way to the biggest red flag of him doing it all. But I was like, I need that phone just to give me the proof of what it is. Went to go get the phone, and it turned into him calling the cops on me. And like, him calling the cops on me was honestly the wake up call I needed. Because for one, I don't need to be involved with the law at all for any reason with another person, unless like they are causing direct harm towards me and I've called, or because of there's a situation that I'm trying to, like, you know what I mean, something has happened and I've seen it and I need to call. I don't want to be I don't want the law called on me because you can't be a man and just own up to what you've done, but also just own up to the fact that you're a piece of shit. And so, yeah, him calling the cops on me and getting the sheriffs to come over to his mother's house to get me off of the property, all because I wanted my phone back, the phone that I paid for. Yeah, that honestly woke me up so hard that, like, yeah, I have not talked to that man. I've That's a lie. I've talked to him one time since then, and that was a couple months after everything happened between me and him. And it was honestly a way of me saying my piece to him. And I gave him my complete mind and I did not hold back. I'm so glad I still did that to this day. I wish I would have said more because I've thought on it more and there's so much more I could have said. But yeah, that was definitely a wake up call. That was a I don't want to live a life like this call. Like,
Mm-hmm.
even though that was the only time he ever called the cops on me for anything, but like when we first got together, he mentioned, I'll always remember that too. He mentioned that to me. Don't ever call the cops on me because my mom has done it to me my whole life.
Mm.
And which she did. She was crazy too, just like him. They were both a batshit crazy family. I was there multiple times when she called the cops on him for whatever fucking crazy, because he didn't take his medicine that day because he was on a lot of medicine because of PTSD and shit like that, because of the war and whatnot. I knew that that family was dysfunctional as fuck. That was a red flag at the beginning, and I should have known from day one, but I ignore it. I ignore it.
Maybe let's rewind a little bit. You
So much just got unloaded right there.
you really just said these words. When I first met him, he asked me, "Don't ever call the cops on me." Was that in his Hinge bio?
Bitch, he had that as a caution sign outside his house. That was the first flag, and I just drove past it.
It had to have been in Chinese, because clearly you couldn't read.
Korean, actually.
Wow. I mean,
Yeah, I think that would be the first red flag for any sane person.
Yeah. No, that's I met that man at the tail end of things. And you're right, like first glance or whatever, I'm like, okay, here's just, your everyday little country bumpkin boy, you know. And then as the days progressed, I saw more and more kind of what you were dealing with, and I didn't really have room to talk because I was also
Mm.
in a final destination plot line of my own.
Ooh, child.
I mean,
We both had blinders on. Like,
our frontal lobes weren't fully developed yet. And that really honestly was the problem. I'm going to blame science and biology because there ain't no way. Like, I had no control over my brain at that point in time. So, like, I could think and stuff, but, like, I wasn't controlling. I was literally just a meat suit walking around.
I'm just imagining pleading to the judge. I had no control over my brain.
I didn't. I mean, lock me up in the asylum, call me crazy, but damn.
Well, baby,
Yeah, I've been there,
for
done that.
you, yeah, for you in that relationship, that actually was a, that's not a metaphor for you.
Right. No, he sent me there. But us, girl, you knew him.
I did. I had the pleasure of meeting him too for the final years of your.
I don't even know, I don't even possibly know the first red flag, but I should probably preface it with this. That man cheated on me more times than I have toes and fingers
And
and
me.
teeth in my mouth.
And me.
And you.
And then another person and a couple more actually probably. It's actually outrageous. That one is.
The first time that I found out that he was going to cheat on me, didn't actually cheat on me, but the first time I found out he was going to was because he had begged me to hang out with this guy that was his friend from high school, straight dude,
Mm,
and he was like, "Yeah, let's all hang out. Like he's chill. We can just like play video games, whatever, watch movies, TV. He can hang out at your apartment, my apartment that I was paying for."
mm,
He was like, "Yeah, and we'll just, hang out." So I let that happen, and afterwards, he looks at me and he goes, "Okay, well, I'm gonna go ahead and take this guy home because he doesn't have a car." And I was like, "Okay." I felt weird about it. But, anyways, he takes the guy home. Then he goes home, and I don't hear from him for the rest of the night. The next day, I go to McDonald's because I'm getting myself some chicken nuggets.
fucking McDonald's chicken nuggets. That's the red flag in itself.
And guess who is frying those chicken nuggets up?
Oh no.
The guy. The guy, his friend, the one that I met and hung out with the night before. He sees me and I go and I sit in a booth and he brings me my food and sets it down at my table. And he goes, "Hey man." And I'm like, "What's up? I didn't know you worked here." And he's like, "Yeah, yeah." He's like, "Hey, it was cool hanging out last night. Um, I wanted to let you know something." And I was like, "What's up?" And he was like, "Well, last night when your boyfriend took me home, he asked if he could suck my dick in the car."
Mm. I mean, after knowing this dude, of course he did.
I was literally just trying to eat a McChicken.
Yeah, like, baby, I'm 6 pieces in on this 10 piece right now, and you're coming at me.
So my next question was, well, did he? And he's like, no.
Like, what are you telling me that it happened or not?
So he's like, no, it didn't happen. I'm not gay. I'm straight. Like, I got a girl and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, baby, spaghetti is straight until it gets hot.
I was like, anyways, anyways, we know plenty of those.
Yeah. And yeah, he's like, I just thought you should know because like I thought you were cool. And I just, I wanted to let you know.
So he didn't cheat on you. This dude let you know what was going to happen but didn't. And then you stayed with him after that, after knowing that and after hearing that. And then he still ended up cheating on you multiple times.
Oh God, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And that was at the beginning.
That
That
was
was
at
like
the
what,
very
like
beginning.
a couple months in?
Yeah, almost a year in. Um, and it was crazy because he was like, yeah, he showed me the text messages because apparently after he dropped him off, my ex proceeded to like go home and then blow up his phone. I was 18 and he was 16,
Mm-hmm.
but he was turning 17 and I was turning 19.
Mm-hmm.
I know people are weird about the like young stuff, but like we really were just kids.
Yeah.
I mean, like we could have met in high school, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I saw all of the text messages to him talking about, "Are you sure you don't want some head?"
That's what's crazy though, is because it's like being freaked out that young. But I mean, there's a lot to talk about with that ex and what happened and what made him the way he is.
Yeah,
Cause not that we what's the verbiage for this? Not that we give excuses for people, but when you hear the whole story, it's kind of like, oh, um,
trauma.
okay, well that kind of changes things. That makes that not understandable. Can't understand it. Still cannot fathom it. Cannot put my brain around it. But does give you more of like the background, the lore of like, okay, so that
I could see why
makes sense.
I could see why you think there's not an issue with
Exactly.
your actions.
Exactly.
Yeah, I
Doesn't mean
mean,
I'm forgiving them or forgetting them because maybe now I'm traumatized. Bitch,
yeah.
I just had to hear it come out of your mouth.
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck?
There's no way, there's no possible way I could ever forget the things that I went through with that person. Um,
Same.
everything was a red flag, and
Every day was a red
I mean, just
baby, every day was a red flag warning for both of us in these relationships. And
imagine if
we're
every
walking on sunshine.
no, honestly, you know how the phones will like alert us when there's a child being abducted?
Yes.
Imagine if our phones went off every time they told us a lie to our face.
Bitch, my phone would have stayed dead because the notifications would have been killing it so quick. Like,
Insane.
yeah, when we sit here and talk about it and then we look back on it, yeah, sometimes I'm sitting here like, I can't believe this coming out of my mouth.
Well, that's not even like the tip of the iceberg. I will say one of the craziest things that I went through with that, and I'll make this brief, but got into an argument because he was going out of town. I wanted to go with him. He said, "No, you can't go with me. I'm going because my aunt is in the hospital dying." I said, "Okay, well, obviously you need to go." It was super random. Like I found out about it last minute. I
That
wanted
Aunt
to,
Doris is dying.
yeah, I wanted to go. I wanted to be supportive. You know, the where he was going was only 5 hours away. Jump in a car, go, come back. You know, he couldn't let me go. He would not let me go. So he leaves, but the the mistake he made was leaving his laptop at the apartment. And this is
Because,
kind of
baby, one thing we're going to do is we're going to look.
yeah, well, this is
Mhm.
kind of the height of like technology when your like iMessage and iCloud and all that stuff
Are
started getting,
connected.
yeah, when it started getting good.
Mm-mm.
And so like I was seeing in real time his text conversations popping up on his laptop. And I was sitting there like a telenovela. I was watching it come through. And at first didn't really see much. I kind of just, walked away from it, didn't really care. But it was towards him getting ready to come back is when all hell broke loose. I started seeing the messages come through talking about, and I don't know who these people were,
Mm-hmm.
but talking about room number 114. Go up 3 flights of stairs. I'm in this room. Blah, 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 blah. Then the thanks for having me over it was a good time, you got a great ass. And then the response being, thank you so much. I loved my first BBC threesome.
Ugh. Ugh.
Meanwhile, I'm thinking
You're
you're at the
crashing out.
hospital. I'm literally thinking this man is at the hospital next to his dying aunt at the bedside.
And Doris is not dying. And Doris would die if she knew what her nephew just went through.
Yeah. And to top all of that off, apparently he booked a hotel at this hotel that was having a furry convention because he was a secret furry and he liked dressing up like animal mascots and walking around in fursuits. And his whole kink, or whatever I come to find out later, was that he liked to be in the suits with the little zipper unzipped and his little booty hole popping out so that a Alaskan Malamute could mount him.
Listen. Listen. I got nothing against what people like and what people want to do. I have more of an issue when you're secretive about it because then that's when it feels like it's dirty.
Yeah.
Cause like it doesn't have to be. You can be into that. That's totally cool, and it can be a sex thing too for you. That's too cool too. But when you make it very secretive, and especially to your partner, that's when it's like, oh, this is dirty. This is filthy, and
Mm-hmm. We've always been that way though.
yeah,
And I
yeah,
always
yeah. Like I know openly how y'all were, cause like we've talked about before on this. We are very open with each other. So we know everything about every part of our own sex life. Like literally. Like we don't hide anything about shit like that. And so yeah, I know that y'all were like
we were kinky.
yeah,
We were
like you would
kinkier than
do
that.
anything for that man if he wanted it because you loved him that much.
Not anything.
Okay, well, not anything. Not,
But
but
I was,
within reason.
yeah,
And you were
within,
open to suggestions or whatever. You know what I mean? Like it's not like you were vanilla as fuck,
right. I
prince
would,
pillow princess shit.
exactly. I would listen to you, at
Right.
least listen to you and try to understand why you like the things you like. It
Exactly.
was always, to me, communication.
Yeah.
And if you can't communicate with me, then you don't love me.
Yep.
Because nothing should be a secret.
Yep.
Everything should be transparent with your partner. Like, so that was the issue. That was our whole issue, was he was just a liar, he was a cheater, and
I mean, that was what ultimately led to your crash out and sending you.
oh, that was the event.
Yeah.
That was the event that really took toll, um, and landed me into the mental hospital for a couple days because I literally crashed out and I just didn't understand because I'm like, I love you so much. Like I would have gone to the ends of the earth for that person.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you lying to me?
Yep.
First of all, your poor aunt. Like,
Or indoors.
why are we bringing her into this? Like, you,
Yeah.
all you needed to say was something's not adding up. I'm not happy or I'm not satisfied in this situation, and I feel like I'm gonna go do this. And either I would have said, go ahead and do that. We can work it out later, or I could have said, that's fine. This needs to be the end of the relationship. Go ahead and I'm gonna pack my stuff. I'm gonna go ahead and move on.
Yeah, because you should have also gotten that option
Right.
to deal with it. Because, spoiler alert, Josh didn't leave. Even after having to be checked in to
Dumb.
a mental hospital, he still came out and was still with this said person for a couple more months
A while, yeah.
and tried to make it work. And so it's like, yeah, the red flags, baby. Red flags led you to your darkest, deepest tunnel, and you still said, anyways.
And you know what blows my mind about all that is I met all of his friends and knew them. And like they were my friends too, or at
Mhm.
least I thought they were. Like I got really close to them. We were together for 5 years.
Yep.
So when I like would reach out to his friends and be like, hey, like, do y'all think this is normal? They would literally be like, yeah, that's just so and so.
Yeah, they would be around when those things were happening and like
They and
not call him out on
they
it.
didn't like they didn't ever feel the need to like step up and be like, "Hey, you're not being a good partner right
Like
now."
be accountable.
Yeah, like hold your friend accountable for the terrible shitty things that he's doing.
Facts.
I don't get it. But you know what? Misery loves company. You are the company you keep. So to me, that just proved that if you're a shitty person like that, yet all of these people love you, then they're also shitty people too. And
And that's on
and
period.
that's on period. And I'm not gonna say like they're bad people. I still talk to them every now and then. I still maintain some sort of communication, but also at the end of the day, like I want y'all to know I don't forgive y'all for that. I do not forgive any of you for not stepping up and calling your friend out and letting him know that the shit that he was doing was wrong.
Because even if you still stay friends with them, you can still hold them accountable. We talked about a couple episodes of the infidelity with the married man and how he was my friend for 14 years before the whole situation with y'all. During that whole process, I held both of you accountable every conversation.
And did
I may not have like called y'all out in front of his wife like everybody probably thinks I should have, or like how outsiders looking in probably think that it should have gone down. But in our conversations together, when we would talk amongst ourselves or even just us one on one about the situation, I always held y'all accountable. I always told you what you were doing was fucked up. I always told you that there was another person in the situation that was not getting a choice in the matter. Like, I don't understand how that is an issue for people to do. Like, if you have such a good relationship or bond with people, you should be able to hold that person accountable under any situation. And that person should be able to reflect on that, take it in, and then do what they need to do with it. It took a couple of years for that situation to get completely straightened out. But in the end, it did, and it did the right way. It got taken care of by y'all talking to her, y'all telling her the truth, and now the conflict is resolved. You know what I mean? Everybody's doing their own thing. I feel like everybody's happier, like we've talked about before. We feel like they're in a happier state of their life now because they're able to be authentically who they are. There's no more lies, there's no more deceiving, there's no more anything. So like, yeah, I just feel like if you are a friend to someone and you truly care about that person and you love them and you see them doing fucked up shit and you know they're doing fucked up shit, call them on it. Tell them. My friends in my discords, anybody that I've ever played with online, those people always tell me that I am one of the most honest people and the most brutally honest people. And like, oh, Courtney's gonna always tell us the truth, or don't ask Courtney if you want the truth because she's gonna be honest. And that's just who I am, because I don't see a point in lying to you about what it is.
well, and to piggyback off of that, like that whole time I was with that person, you would voice your concerns.
To him and you.
Yeah, both of us. I mean, there was many times where you pulled him aside and had conversations with him to the likes of which I don't even know what y'all talked about
Yep.
because it was just a conversation between you and him. And I trusted you to have those conversations because
Mm-hmm.
I knew you knew what I was going through and you were witnessing it and you know you saw his behavior and I mean, I appreciate that. I feel like I did that a little bit for you with your
Well, for
ex.
sure. But that's like talking to a fucking wall, literal, talking to dirt.
Well, yes, but also I mean, if cornbread had a personality. But
And not the sweet one.
no, we're talking about that dry ass shit.
Oh, God.
But I will say too, you didn't listen to me when you sent me that video. You remember that video? No, baby, we're going there. Don't hide your face now.
Stop. I don't want to talk about it.
We won't go into detail, but that video you sent me of the night where you had to set your phone up and catch him on camera because
Because I was applying to be an FBI investigator. Yes, Your Honor. Yes, Your Honor. I was applying to be a thorough.
This bitch really sent me a video one night.
PSA who?
I'm laying in bed chilling. Midnight 30 rolls around. Ding. I go to open my phone. I don't even know what I'm about to watch, to be honest. No context, nothing. I just click on it, and in the video, I just see Skeletor walking around with no fucking underwear on. And I'm trying to decipher what's happening. And I just see this man, like, he's like continuously just like scratching his nutsack, dick flopping everywhere. And I'm like, I don't think she meant to send this to me. I think they were getting freaky and they were making a home video, and this was an accident. Cause I was scared the next like scene was gonna pan to just a big old shining ass, and it was gonna be you getting
You can't.
you getting
No,
impregnated.
stop.
But what was it really?
Um. Well, we had had me and you had had a conversation beforehand that some medicine had came up missing because we had
From our friend.
from your friend, yes, because we had just been at your house with said friend
Mm-hmm.
and some things, and so some medicine came up missing, and I'm talking about like some high dollar, high value medicine.
Pain pills.
Pain pills, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, and my ex was notorious for taking medicine, not necessarily being strung out on medicine, because another subject we can go into is that man used to sell his medicine in order to pay bills because he had no fucking money.
Mm.
So there was a lot of tassel and pull with my family saying he was a drug addict when maybe he was selling the pills he was getting.
Well, and they
In
were
order,
also prescribed.
they were prescribed and he was not taking them and he was selling them in order to put food in the belly of his child that we were also taking care of. I'm telling you, we went through some shit with that man. I fucking can't believe I even made it out on the other side. But this situation at hand was that we had gone over to see you. Your friend's medicine came up missing. And so, of course, my ex was notorious about lying for one, but also just taking shit that he shouldn't. And I knew that. And so, yeah, my way of finding out if he did was to catch his ass. So I got home after me and you were texting, and that was literally a 2 mile drive. So, like, we had that chat within like 5 minutes of me and you just texting about what was happening. And I literally had to come up with a plan of how I was going to figure out because I couldn't just ask him. Because if you ask this man, it wasn't me.
Mm.
Shaggy. He was notorious. That was his fucking theme song. It wasn't me. Babe, it wasn't me. Babe, it wasn't me. I found his fucking dick on Craigslist. I knew what that man's dick looked like. Looking to be fucked and to do ice with these people. But yeah, it wasn't me. That's not me. That's not my freckle on my dick that you've seen every time. That wasn't me. Like, bitch, I know it's you.
Well, we need to get on camera immediately because the faces.
And I get so irritated talking about this man and talking about the shit that happened. But then it's because I get irritated at myself.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not irritated at him anymore. I'm past what the fuck he did. He's a fucking piece of shit. I'm irritated at me being the dumbass that I was. Because it's like, I know so much better now.
Mm.
So it's like, what the fuck, bitch? What were you thinking?
And
But back to what we were talking about. How I was going to catch him. I had to think of a plan. So I got into the house. I was like, fuck it. I'm going to take a shower. Mind you, we're living with my cousin because we have no place to live because he can't keep a job and we ain't got no money. I'm the only one making money. I got to pay for all the bills. I can't afford us a place to live too because I don't make that much money. Regardless, I get in there. I go to take a shower and I'm like, fuck it. I'm going to put my phone up to record on the stand, on the nightstand. And I hid it behind a like fucking teddy bear. And you couldn't even tell. I literally was looking at it. I was like, all right, yeah, you can't even tell this is sitting right here. And I went to take a shower and I left it recording. That was the longest but shortest shower of my life. And that was because, for one, I didn't want to make it too short and not catch him. And then for two, I was like, fuck. Like, is this long enough? Is this not long enough? So I deedle daddled, dilly dallied, whatever, in the shower for however long. And then I got out, go back to the room, grabbed my phone, got dressed, went back to the bathroom like I was cleaning up stuff, whatever, blah, blah. And that's whenever I went looking through the video. And then I sent you the part that I sent you, which is a part where he's, like you said, dick flopping everywhere because he's doing whatever the fuck he was doing. And then there's a part where he slides his hands from his lower region area, nether regions, meaning his ball sack, and he slides his hands from that region up his entire body and towards his mouth and then swipes away. As if, and it's like, and I wish I still had the video. Not really, but I do wish I did, just to like replay it, because I can replay it in my head, but obviously I don't know it anymore. But it looks so much like he slid something in his mouth at the same time. Like he was like handing off almost. And it was just so quick for me to like catch the like, is this really happening? So that's why I sent it to you. But yeah, I wanted to see if he would pull, medicine out of wherever the fuck he would have it. Um, and I ended up doing a thorough check after that because I did eventually. Once again, I told y'all I'm the most honest motherfucker. And so when I decided that me and you, our eyes couldn't figure it out because we were texting like, bitch, what did you see? What did you see? What did you? And we couldn't come to a decision. So I finally went in there to that man and sat down on the fucking edge of the bed, showed him the video, asked him what he was doing, and then proceeded to tell him to stand up on the bed so I could smell under his nuts. Yes, Your Honor, I did ask him to raise them so I could sniff them.
Let me smell your dick. You're never gonna live that down.
I'll never, and that's okay, because you know what? I don't know what actually, baby, because now you could never catch me sniffing a man's nuts to
So
check if there was medicine residue. Because that's what I was looking for, was like the
that that's crazy.
that's what I was looking for, was like the powder residue from a pill. Because if any of you know, when you have certain pills in your hands or whatever, the powder from them will leave like a residue on your skin. And there's a certain scent that pills also leave. You can smell it. And so,
You were convinced that he stole the pills, put him in his underwear,
in his underoos or his
yeah,
junk
in his
area.
junk or whatever, hid them, smuggled them to the house, saw the opportunity while you were getting ready to swipe or no swiping, grab them pills and pop them before you ever found out.
Your Honor, yes. With my right hand up, I testify that that is the whole truth. Yep. To this day, I still do not know if that man took those pills or not, if they were there or not.
And he probably did.
He probably did. There was a distinct different smell. I was with him. I obviously knew the smell of my man. Like you do, you know the smell of your person when you're with them for so long. It did smell a little off, as if like medicine could have been, you know what I mean? Powder, something. But once again, I don't know. I can't believe I just said that all out loud for the world to hear in 4K.
All 67 subscribers.
Oh, Mom, please don't. Mom, you better have already turned this off, honestly. This
No,
could have been. I'm going to put the episode do not watch,
no,
Mom.
she's still here. She's still here. I
That's
would just like to say we are not insane. We've just been through some things, okay? And all of life is a lesson in learning. So, if anything, don't judge us, applaud us, because we really stood on business,
and
okay?
growth.
And growth. You want to talk about two people who have grown exponentially? It's us. I mean, brains are bigger, backs are bigger than ever.
Oh my
But
god.
our hearts are still just as big as ever. So, you know what? We did that. And
Yeah.
would I do it again? Absolutely not.
Never.
Absolutely not.
Actually, not.
I think we've seen enough red flags in our life. We could literally
I
start
seen.
a
I
circus.
I don't even let. I can't even talk to someone longer than a week now, almost without seeing the red flags. Like the conversations will start off great, but it's usually within that first week that I'll start going. I don't like this actually, and then I'll just kind of disappear.
Yeah, like a ghost.
Yeah, I don't necessarily ghost people. I don't want to say I ghost people, but I start to become more reserved whenever I start to see the red flags, which then makes them turn into the ghost. If anything, I don't ever stop the conversation. I just kind of change the way it's going
Yeah.
versus like based off of what I've been given,
Mm-hmm.
and that's when they usually ghost because it's almost like they pick up on the oh shit, they're smelling my bullshit. That's
Yeah.
almost how it feels. It's like oh shit, she's caught on to my hooligans.
Yeah. Well, also, I have grown so much that I'll just tell people,
Yeah.
I, you said this and I don't like that.
Yeah.
You told me you did this and that's really not, I don't like that either. I've been there, I've done it, I've seen it, I've heard it, I've smelled it.
Mhm.
So, you know what I mean? Like, I'm at that point where it's like, I'm going to tell you up front, like, if I'm not vibing with something.
Mhm. Well, if you've made it this far without texting your ex, congratulations. You've officially survived this week's emotional horror story.
The house may be haunted, but you don't have to keep knocking on the door. Let the ghost stay blocked.
Remember, just because someone gave you butterflies, it doesn't mean that it wasn't a poltergeist.
So light your sage, log out of their close friend story, and for the love of God, delete that thread.
We'll be back next week with more chaos, oversharing, and probably another red flag we thought was a carnival. And remember, when a ghost from the past tries to slide back into your DMs,
Delete
delete
that.
that. No, literally, that's what I think every time. Except,
Yeah.
type shit.